Good morning, children. Today we will discuss about Euler's equations of motion for a rigid body. Let us go with the presentation. Euler's equations of motion for a rigid body. Here we have two methods. First one is Newtonian method. Let us consider Newtonian method. Here let us consider a rigid body which is fixed at a particular point, and this rigid body is rotating under the action of torque, and the torque is expressed as tau is equals to dj by dt, here suffix s. J is the angular momentum and its time derivative refers to the space set of axis which is represented as subscript s because the equation holds in an inertial frame. Here, the body coordinate system is rotating with an instantaneous angular velocity omega. Here the torque is in under the action. Here it is for the space set of coordinate, and now here we are considering the body coordinate system which is rotating with an instantaneous angular velocity omega. The time derivative of angular momentum j in the body coordinate and the space coordinate system are related as, that means here we have a relation between body coordinate and space coordinate systems are dz by dt suffix s is equals to dz by dt suffix b plus omega cross j. Here this one which is equals to, already we have dz by dt suffix s which is nothing but tau. That means here dz by dt suffix s is equals to tau, which is equals to dz by dt plus omega cross j. Here the right hand side which is represented the body set of coordinate. That's why we are we are leaving this p here subscript, we are leaving this subscript here. We choose principal axis for the body set of axis. If I1, I2, I3 are the principal moment of inertia, that means here we are choosing the principal axis for the body set of axis, and I1, I2, I3 are the principal moments of inertia. Then J, angular momentum, J is equals to I1 omega 1 I cap plus I2 omega 2 j cap plus I3 omega 3 k cap. That means we already know j is equals to I omega. So here we are considering I1, I2, I3 are the principal moments of inertia for the body set of axis. Here we are choosing here the principal axis for the body set of axis. So j equals to I1 omega 1 I cap plus I2 omega 2 j cap plus I3 omega 3 k cap, which is equation number 60. Here omega is equals to omega 1 I1 I cap plus omega 2 j cap plus omega 3 k cap. Omega is nothing but here the angular velocity with components omega 1, omega 2 and omega 3 along the principal axis which we have considered. As the principal moments of inertia and the body base vectors I cap, j cap, k cap are the constant in time with respect to the body coordinate system, we find that in the body coordinate system using equation number 60, time derivative of j can be written as, already we have here dj by dt. So here already I cap, j cap, k cap are the constants in time with respect to the body coordinate system. So dz by dt, that means here let us consider this one dz by dt, and next we will consider omega cross j. Already we have tau is equals to dz by dt, and now we will find out dj by dt, which is equals to dz by dt. Okay, we are differentiating j with respect to t. So dz by dt, already we know j equals to I omega plus I2 omega 2, I1 omega 1, I2 omega 2 plus I3 omega 3 in ijk vectors. And here dz by dt with respect to t, that means here we are placing here omega dot. So I1 omega dot plus I2 omega dot plus I3 omega 3, which is equation number 61. So substituting in equation number 59. So here this is the equation number 59. So by replacing here dz by dt with this equation, we will obtain here tau is equals to dz by dt means 59 here equation I1 omega dot I cap plus I2 omega 2 dot j cap plus I3 omega 3 plus 3 omega 3 dot k cap plus here omega cross j bar. So here uh, we are writing here omega means here already we have an idea. So omega 1 omega 2 omega 3 with I j k vectors cross, here cross j means I1 omega 1 plus I2 omega 2 plus I3 omega 3. That means we are substituting in equation number 59. So dz by dt already we know. We have in equation number 61, we are replacing dz by dt here, and omega is omega 1 plus omega 2 plus omega 3. J is nothing but I omega. In three components we have wrote here. So this is equation number 62. So writing tau is equals to tau 1 I cap plus tau 2 j cap plus tau 3 k cap. We can obtain the xyz components of the torque as. So here by replacing tau as tau 1 plus tau 2 plus tau 3, we'll obtain this one. And here how can we obtain here? Already here we have I1 omega dot plus I2 omega 2 dot plus I3 omega 3 dot. And here we have a cross in between this one and this one, omega into j bar. Already here we have in 59 equation omega cross j. So by crossing these two, we'll obtain this equation. So and we are considering tau equals to tau 1 plus tau 2 plus tau 3. So by crossing these two and by adding, we will obtain tau 1 value I1 omega dot 1 plus I3 minus I2 into omega 2 omega 3. Tau 2 is equals to I2 omega dot 2 plus I1 minus I3 omega 3 omega 1. Tau 3 is equals to I3 omega 3 dot plus I2 minus I1 into omega 1 omega 2. That means by crossing these two and by adding and by taking common as omega 2 omega 3, here also by taking common omega 3 omega 1, and here also by taking common as omega 1 omega 2, we will obtain these expressions. So these are the equations 63a, 63b, 63. Total this is the equation number 63. So these equations are known as Euler's equations for the motion of a rigid body with one point fixed under the action of torque. So these equations can also be derived from Lagrange's equations when the generalized forces Gk are the torques and Euler's angles phi, theta, psi are the generalized coordinates. And these are the Euler's equations of the motion of a rigid body with one point fixed under the action of torque. So this is the Newtonian method completed. Now let us see the next method, Lagrange's method. So here also let us consider a rigid body which is rotating with one point fixed. Euler's angles completely describe the orientation of the rigid body. Already we have seen the Euler's angles, and here we are considering the rigid body which is rotating with one point fixed. But here Euler's angles completely describe the orientation of a rigid body. In the case of the rotating rigid body, we take the Euler's angles. Already what are the Euler's angles? We have described phi, theta, psi are the Euler's angles as the generalized coordinates, and the components of the applied torque as the generalized forces which are corresponding to these angles. So for conservative system, here also we are considering the conservative system. For conservative system, Lagrangian for the system already we know L equals to T minus V. But here we are considering the Euler's angles. That's why here Lagrangian for the system can be written as for a rigid body which is rotating with a fixed point. So L is equals to, so T is a function of here phi dot, theta dot, psi dot, comma, phi, theta, psi minus V of phi, theta, psi. This is equation number 64. So for a conservative system, this is the Lagrangian for a system. Here T is the total rotational kinetic energy. So here T is rotational kinetic energy, and T can be given as T is equals to half I1 omega 1 square plus I2 omega 2 square plus I3 omega 3 square. So this is the T in the case of Lagrangian when a rigid body is rotating under a fixed point. This is the total this is the rotational kinetic energy. So here where the body axis are taken as a principal axis. Here we are considering body axis as a principal axis. So in the view of equation number 25, already equation number 25 here, this is we have the angular velocity components omega 1, omega 2 and omega 3 along the principal axis can be written as omega 1 equals to phi dot sin theta sin psi plus theta dot cos psi. omega 2 equals to theta dot sin theta cos psi minus theta dot into sin psi. Omega 3 equals to phi dot cos theta plus psi dot. So these are the equations which are in the view of equation number 25 in the for the angular velocity components. Omega 1, omega 2, omega 3 are the angular velocity components, and along the principal axis we can write like this equation number 66. The Lagrange's equation for psi coordinate is Lagrange's equation for psi coordinate can be written as, so Lagrangian is nothing but t equals to L minus B. But here we are writing here. So d by dt dou L by dou psi dot minus dou L by dou psi, which is equals to 0. So this is the Lagrange's equation for psi coordinate. So d by dt dou L by dou psi dot minus dou L by dou psi is equals to 0. But we know L equals to t minus V. Already we have here this in equation number 64, L equals to t minus V. So L equals to T minus V by equation number 64. So here d by d by dt dou t by dou psi dot. Actually here we need dou t by dou psi dot minus dou v by dou psi dot. But we have dou v by dou psi dot is equals to 0. That's why here we are leaving this dou psi by dou v by dou psi dot. Actually t equals to L minus V. Sorry, L equals to t minus V. L equals to t minus v. But already we have dou t by dou psi dot minus dou v by dou psi dot. But dou v by dou psi dot 0. That's why we did not wrote here minus, and here dou L is nothing but t by t minus v. So dou t by dou psi equals to dou v by dou psi. So only dou v by dou psi dot 0, but not dou v by dou psi. That's why here we are leaving dou v by dou psi dot is equals to 0. However, the angle psi is the angle of rotation about the principal z-axis and is one of the generalized coordinates in the present problem. So, the generalized force G psi is equals to minus dou v by dou psi. That means in equation number 67, minus dou v by dou psi is nothing but G psi. So which is corresponding to the generalized coordinate psi, which is obviously the z component of the impressed torque. That is here tau 3 equals to G psi, which is equals to minus dou v by dou psi. That means we are replacing in equation number 67 here minus dou v by dou psi as tau 3. So thus equation number 67 assumes of the form tau 3 equals to d by dt dou t by, here d by dt dou t by dou psi dot minus dou t by dou psi, because here minus dou v by dou psi is nothing but tau 3. Therefore, tau 3 equals to d by d3 sigma I dou t by, that means we are multiplying and dividing with dou omega 1 by in numerator and denominator. That means here dou t by dou omega 1 into dou omega 1 by dou psi dot minus dou by dou psi sigma I, again dou t multiplying dividing with dou omega I in numerator and denominator here. So dou t by dou omega I dou omega I by dou psi. But from equation 65, if you see, let us see equation number 65. So here rotational kinetic energy T equals to half I1 omega 1 square plus I2 omega 2 square plus I3 omega 3 square. That means here we can write equation number 65 as, here T is equals to half sigma I omega into omega I square. Therefore, dou T by dou omega is equals to I1 omega I. Dou T by dou omega equals to I1 omega I. So from equation number 66, let us see equation number 66 here. By using this equation number 66, from equation number 66, we will obtain dou omega 1 by dou psi dot equals to dou omega 2 by dou psi dot is equals to 0, and dou omega 3 by dou psi dot is equals to 1. That means here in equation number 66, we are differentiating with respect to psi dot. So, but here in omega 1, we don't have any psi dot term. So, omega 1 here it is 0. In omega 2 also we don't have any psi dot term. That's why here also omega 2 0. But omega 3 we have psi dot. So, here we have from equation we will obtain here Therefore, here from equation number 66 we obtain dou omega 1 by dou psi dot equals to 0, dou omega 2 by dou psi dot equals to 0, and dou omega by 3 by dou psi dot is equals to 1. So that sigma I dou t by dou omega I by dou psi dot, which is equals to I3 into omega 3. This is equation number 70. So also from equation number 66, and let us see equation number 66, and this one omega 1, omega 2, omega 3. But again from that equation number 66 we will obtain dou omega 1 by dou psi equals to, so by differentiating omega 1 here with respect to psi, we will obtain minus phi dot sin theta cos psi minus theta dot sin phi, which is equals to, so this one, so if we are differentiating omega with respect to dou psi in the equation number 66, we will obtain this one, and this is nothing but omega 2, which is equals to omega 2. Again from equation number 66, differentiating omega 2 with respect to psi, we will obtain minus phi dot sin theta sin psi minus theta dot cos phi, and again this one is equals to minus omega 1. And dou omega 3 by dou psi, we don't have any psi term, so that we will obtain 0. Hence, sigma I dou t by dou omega 1 dou omega I by dou psi, which is equals to dou t by dou omega 1 by dou psi plus dou t by dou omega 2 by dou psi plus dou t by dou omega 3 by dou psi. We have here from this one dou omega 3 by dou psi equals to 0. That means this term become vanishes. So by substituting dou omega 3 by dou psi here, this term becomes vanishes. Now by seeing, we can see these two terms, and I1 omega 1. So here dou t by dou omega 1 is nothing but I1 omega 1, and dou omega 1 by dou psi is nothing but omega 2 plus dou t by dou omega 2 means I2 omega 2, dou omega 2 by dou psi equals to minus omega 1, and this term becomes 0. So that's why we are vanishing. This term vanishes, and here by taking common as omega 1 and omega 2, will obtain minus I2 minus I1 into omega 1 omega 2, which is equation number 71. So by substituting the values from 63 or 72 and 71 in equation number 69, we will obtain, so tau 3 equals to d by dt I3 omega 3 plus I2 minus I1 into omega 1 omega 2. From this tau 3 equals to, so we can write this one as d by dt is nothing but derivative. So I3 omega dot 3 plus I2 minus I1 into omega 1 into omega 2. This is equation number 72, which is the third Euler's equation obtained earlier. So one may obtain the other two Euler's equations by simply cyclic permutation. So note that these two equations do not correspond to theta and psi coordinates. So in the case of a rigid body is rotating about a fixed axis, say principal axis, then we will obtain omega 1 equals to 0, omega 2 equals to 0, and omega 3 equals to omega. Therefore, from the equations already we have 63 or 72, we have the equations of motion as tau 1 equals to 0, tau 2 equals to 0, and tau 3 equals to I3 omega dot or tau equals to I omega dot. Where we have put tau 3 equals to, we are replacing tau 3 as tau and I3 as I corresponding to the z-axis. So in the z-axis, we are replacing I3 as I and tau 3 as tau. So instantaneous angular momentum about z-axis can be written as J3 equals to I3 omega 3 or J equals to I omega. And instantaneous rotational kinetic energy is T equals to half into omega dot J, or we can write as half I into omega square. So this is about the Euler's theorem. Thank you, children.